Welcome to the Trading Lounge and the FX report for the European crosses, and starting with the US dollar index here. As you know, we've been looking for, well, the reaction pattern from 100 here in terms of a corrective pattern in ABC, and the C wave here as wave 4 with 5 waves in it, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I was looking for this didn't resolve itself very well in this 5th wave here, that meaning that looking for 5 waves in this particular structure, but they don't always end in a textbook style. So we had the 95 as a bit of a line in the sand, so a nice clean move above that or support on 95 was going to be the catalyst for a move higher. Now, we've had other markets and other crosses make their move already based off this here, so it's with a little bit of confidence that we can place this as completed in here, and looking for a move up beyond 100 from this current low here. So even if I am wrong, then there would only be one more new low coming in through here, but it does appear that this little pattern here has a bit of structure to it in terms of an impulse wave to the upside. I would have just liked to see it above that 95 to give a bit of clarity, but sometimes they take a little bit of time to work too, like 5 waves up here, and then the 3 waves back, and then another 5 up, another 3 back, and working to the upside as such. So that's what we're sort of looking at here, just on the sort of 2-hour chart here. We can start to see that it's got a reasonable structure to the upside, but it'd just be nice to see it cleanly above here. Once you've got that, then you definitely know that you're on the way at that stage. So just drilling in here a little bit further. Yeah, I mean, it'd just be nice if we can get above the 95 here. Now, when we look at the Euro-US dollar, whoops, we're on the monthly chart here. Sorry about that, but we might as well start from here. So, look, we're in this huge trend to the downside here, and we were looking at this market moving obviously into this particular number and lower from that. We're also looking for 5 waves in this particular structure here as well, and of intermediate degree. So we're just completing intermediate wave 4 here. That could have pulled back to the intermediate to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree just in here. Didn't quite sort of reach there, but we think that this may be completed now, and we'll be looking for 5 more waves coming down into the parity here. So on the upside here, we were looking same as the US dollar index, but a mirror pattern here to the upside, an A and a B, and finally the C wave here in 5 waves. And obviously the more that this comes down through here, which we believe that it will, then we can confirm this top in play here. It would be nice to see the market beyond this particular closest largest number here to confirm that. So that's what we're working towards. But in the meantime, definitely the trade should be on the short side and not buying pullbacks at this stage. If there was a pullback to be bought, it would be on this low here. But as it stands, we're looking for the market to make new lows below wave 3 here, down into this area through here and lower. Just drilling in here further as well, just go in a bit further here. Yeah, we haven't really come out of this trend channel just yet, but that's highly likely to occur now. And also too, regarding the levels, the trading levels, then if we looked at this closest largest number here and then went 1, 2, 3 as group 1 here, if the number 2 here become the retested resistance, then that in my mind locks the market in back down into this number here. So it's just the pivot, always number 2. So if that locks in there, then you know that it's going to be pulled, very high probability that's going to be pulled to the downside from that point. In terms of counting this structure to the downside, it can be counted as wave 1 to here already and wave 2 to here, or it can be counted as wave 1 over here as well. There's a couple of variations. The main point is that we have impulse waves and we will be looking lower. So you need to look on the short side for trades, and in this case here, keeping the stop out of the way as such. I've got it labeled here like this in this case here, where we've got the 5th wave down through to this point here and wave 2 coming back through here. So a breach of these lows here, if it moves through, if that's going to be your trigger to the downside here, then obviously you can keep the stop above this wave 2 here. So not such a big deal, but a very good risk reward ratio in terms of what downside potential that we have here. And of course, you know, there's the cable and the pound yen, euro yen and euro pound and so forth that are all in weak spots as well here. So, you know, you may want to try and find one of the weakest, but it's always good to have some leaders and followers in amongst all of this. The cable's in much the same situation as well, but I think there's one more wave to the upside here, meaning that we would be wave 4 here, would be looking at wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 now, and wave 4 now, and then looking for wave 5, and then rolling down from that point there. So that's what we're looking for at this stage. If we drill in here, we can pull that apart a little bit in terms of 5 waves up here for 1 and 2. Nice strong 3rd wave here. It's got all the right, you know, makeup here. And then we'll be looking for wave 5 up through to here. Extension was in wave 3, so wave 1 and wave 5 can be roughly the same size. So, you know, the 156 is obviously a target point that we can look at through there. Just drill in a little bit further through here. It looks like we've got, I mean, wave 4s can get complicated, as you know, so it may end up getting more complicated than this, but as it stands, it's a nice A, B and C wave down to here, but that may just be the A wave too, so we may end up getting all of this. I mean, that as it stands, as I just mentioned, that can move straight up from that point there, but it may be the B wave to here, C wave to here, and then a move up from that point there. So I'm not quite sure about that, but I do think that the better trades, because this is the last wave up here, it may not finish the way that you want it to in textbook terms and so forth, so we're probably better off looking for short trades in amongst the other ones that are already completed their 5th waves here. And yeah, so I mean, as this stands at the moment, this can be up for 1 and back for 2 and then pushing straight up from here. So it's not such a bad trade, and you'll catch a nice little 3rd wave in here. We can have a look at this pattern on some of the other markets in a moment as we go through. Now, the pound yen here, we can look at this in a couple of different ways on the daily chart. This is a top up here, but we can look at it as an A wave to here, a B wave to here, and a C wave to here. And then 5 waves up here, and then a pullback into 180, which would be the 61.8 retracement level, and then a move up from that point. We can also view this too as a corrective pattern that's not complete yet, in terms of an A wave down to here, an A and a B and a C wave here to complete wave B, and then wave C coming down through to here. This is probably the right situation here. In both cases, we can expect, once the market's made its little top here, the same as the cable, then we'll see this further down from here. So just drilling in here, we've got wave 4 here, and we're looking for 5 waves up here. I just don't think they're completed yet. And we'll be looking for little wave 4 completing here now, which can be completed. It's just that you've got to be a little bit mindful with wave 4s, because they can just double in size. And yep, just drilling in here a little bit further. This is how that wave 4 correction pans out. The same in the cable as well, with an A wave and a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here for the C wave. So that really completes quite nicely and pulls back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree and all those sort of things. So it's probable that this is up for 1 and back for 2 here. It can pull back a bit further into the 61.8 retracement level, but the wave 3 here should have a little bit of power behind it. So it's probably a worthy trade if you see it, but you want 185 as your tested support, and you can build the trade in through 10, 20 and 30, and support on 30 obviously flips it straight up to the 50 at that point. The euro yen, it's well, the euro yen and the euro pound have completed their patterns to the upside as wave 5s and have been moving down. So I believe that these would be the better short trades, like shorting it now with a stop, you know, out of the way up here somewhere, and we're looking for quite a strong move to the downside. Yeah, so just drilling in here, not such a big deal. We were looking for the last 5th wave up through to here. You may be short already in here. We can look at this pattern here in terms of the sharp move down here as wave 1, and an A and a B and a C for wave 2. And then we'll obviously get a few more bounces off here, you know how it works, and moving to the downside at that point. So yeah, you just need to keep the stop out of the way somewhere up here, 135.57 or 135.53 or something, and look to build in the trade to the downside. But yeah, this is definitely the better trade scenario here. 15-minute chart here, once again looking at this as a 5-wave sequence down here for 1, an A and a B and a C for 2 here, and then down for 1 again and back for 2 here, and then moving. There'll still be a bounce off the 34 Fibonacci number, and you know, I'm working lower. So once the 34 becomes the retested resistance, then you know you're on your way to the downside there as well. But of course, you know, build it the way you see it. The euro pound is a bit more bearish. At the number 72 here, we've got a very clean, clear A, B and C wave here, and once again we've been looking for the 5 waves up here, and this market's fallen down very quickly here. So, you know, basically a bounce off the 72, and eventually the 72 will become the resistance. So if you if you don't want to get caught up in the bounce, then you can just wait for 72 to become the retested resistance, and we'll be looking for lows much further down. We'll be looking for well, something in this area here, probably 68, 65 sort of area, if not even further. This is the tricky little bit I haven't got my sort of noggin around just yet, is exactly, do we have wave 1 here, and is that wave 2 already, or we're going to get a larger one here, or maybe wave 1's not finished down here yet. So this is what we're going to look at now and try and figure that out a little bit. So just drilling in here. So yeah, it's just I've gone over the count. It's just a little bit sort of tricky in this little area here of where to actually sort of label it. I mean, as I look at it here, we can certainly see a 5-wave structure, and it's not a problem. We can put this here, but I think that this might be just a wave 4 here and then a wave 5 down to here, and then we get our bounce at that point. So if we were looking for and we probably may not get the 50-60% retracement level way up here, because this really fell out of bed very sharply. So you know, it's going to have shallow retracement levels. So that's why I was saying that, you know, whatever happens in here, if you wanted to sort of chill on it, then 72 as a retested resistance would be a point that you could actually work with somewhat. Drilling in here a little bit, this is how I sort of first label it: wave 1 and 2 to here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave here, 4th wave pulling back to the 4th wave of 1 lesser degree, and then the 5th wave here. So if this market makes a move off the comes down to the 72 here and then starts bouncing, then we should sort of try and work through that bounce as wave 2. If the market moves through 72 and moves through here and locks under here and starts to find this is 72, then we're going to have to bring this wave 2 over to here and this wave 5 over to here, with wave 1 in here and wave 2 here, and then working lower from that point. So Yeah, you're going to have to give it time at this little area here, and also line up the other currencies as well to see what they're doing. But obviously this one's the weakest, so this is the leading market to the downside. It's just a matter of working out. If you can go back and figure out where the problem in here is, because the other side to this is wave 1 to here, wave 2 to here, and then of course wave 3 to here, wave 4 to here, wave 5 to here, and of wave 1 here. So the problem's in here. If you've got time to solve that move in here, and that will pay off if you do that work, and you can answer that question. The US dollar yen, we'd been waiting for support on 120, and the market's doing all the right things. It's actually in a building process, the beginning of the trend to the upside. So we're looking at this as wave 1 here, back for wave 2, then wave 1, then wave 2. So then it's going to be another little wave 1 and 2, and it's going to keep working and eventually work to the upside. So taking this high out here would be a simple, clean, tidy way of triggering a trade here. Just 1 point above that, and yeah, otherwise you'll need to work it to the upside in terms of this wave 2 here being, it can come down a little bit further through here. Don't worry about or get involved in it. It's only if the 120 next time around becomes the support that that you become interested in this market, and then look to go long on the break of that high here. Of course, you can get into that earlier, and how to and look to build in here very quickly. So on the 30, on the 50, on the 72, because it will be moving much higher from that point. All right, well that's it. So thanks for tuning in. Cheers.